Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Gossips 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Eric had been putting off this moment for a long time, but now he could not get out of it. Brooke was standing in the Forrester living room. Her arms were crossed over her chest. Her eyes looked shiny with a mix of hope and fear. She had been waiting for a time. All Brooke wanted was one answer from Eric, the man who had been a big part of her life for a very long time. The quiet between Eric and Brooke felt really uncomfortable, even worse than any fight they had ever had. Eric and Brooke just stood there not saying a word. It felt very heavy. Eric knew what she was asking without her needing to say the words again. Eric was thinking about his future. He was wondering if she was still part of his future. Did Eric still care about her? Had she finally become just another memory from his past? Eric took a breath. His face was serious, almost distant, and for the first time in a long time Eric did not try to make his words sound nicer for her. He told Brooke that things had changed. The years of going forth with Brooke were really tough. All the emotional chaos and the times Brooke forgave him only to get hurt again had taken a lot out of him. He said he would always care about Brooke. The life he wanted now did not include the kind of relationship he had with Brooke. He wanted to be at peace, to have stability, and to have a future that did not keep getting hurt by wounds that Brooke and he had. Brooke felt like his words had punched her hard. Her chest felt really tight as she tried to understand what Eric was telling her. She had always thought that no matter what problems they had, no matter how times they grew apart, she could always go back to Eric. Now Eric was saying that he was moving on with his life. He said it in such a calm and firm way. This really hurt her because she had always believed that she and Eric had a connection. She tried to be strong. Her voice shook when she asked Eric if all the good times they had, all the memories they made together, meant nothing to him. She could not think about Eric and what he was doing. Eric was really moving on. She was not sure what to do. Eric did not say that they meant nothing to him. He actually said that they meant everything to him at one time. Eric also said that sometimes loving the person you care about is not enough to build a future together. This is especially true when the past keeps getting in the way of your relationship. The room felt very cold and very quiet. It was like the walls were listening to what Eric was saying. Brooke's eyes started to fill up with tears. These were not the kind of tears that she usually cried. They were painful tears that came from being deeply disappointed in Eric and the situation they were in. Eric and Brooke were having a time, and it was clear that the past was still affecting them. She had stood up for Eric, stuck by him when other people said she should leave him alone. Now she sees that the way she thought their relationship was mostly something she wanted to be true, not really how things were. Eric is not mad at her. He is not being mean to her. That makes it even harder for her. The fact that Eric is so calm about what's happening shows that he did not decide this on a whim. Eric thought about this for a long time before he made up his mind about Eric and their relationship and what he wanted to do about Eric. He said to her that he had to think about his family and the things he wanted to do for the rest of his life. Brooke nodded her head slowly, trying to look brave. Deep down she felt really sad. This was not about losing the man she loved, Eric. It was about losing the life she had dreamed of having. She had thought about all the times they would have together, like holidays and quiet mornings, and she had felt like she really belonged with Eric. Brooke felt like everything was falling apart. She turned to leave. Her feet felt really heavy. This was because she was very upset. Eric saw her walking away. He looked confused but very sure of himself. Eric knew he had hurt Brooke. Eric also knew he had told Brooke the truth. For Brooke, walking out of that room felt like the end of a part of her life. The Forrester mansion, once a symbol of love, hope, and possibility, now felt like a place of echoes and memories. Her heart ached, not just for Eric, but for the version of herself that had believed love could always fix everything. This time it couldn't. And as the door closed behind her, Brooke realized that some answers, no matter how honest, can still be absolutely devastating. Brooke did not know how far she had walked until she heard the sound of cars on the road. This noise was very different from the quiet of the Forrester mansion. The sun in California was shining brightly on her face. Her face was wet. It felt like the world was just going on and on without caring about how she was feeling. Her phone was ringing in her bag. She did not answer it. Brooke did not feel like talking to anyone now. She did not have the energy to tell anyone what had just happened at the Forrester mansion. All she knew was that something big had changed. The Forrester mansion and what happened there was still on her mind. The man she thought would always be in her life had shut the door on them. There was no going on what he said. Every step she took felt hard, like all the memories from years and years were weighing her down. She thought about the times, the bad times, the times they made up and the promises they made when it was quiet at night. It all felt very real, like it would last forever. The memories of the man and their life together felt so strong. She could not forget the man and the life they had. She was actually walking away from the place that was supposed to be stable and full of love. This place was where she felt safe. Now she feels alone. The place that was once so important to her is a memory now. She is walking away from the life she knew. Feels scary. She feels more alone than she has ever felt before. Walking away from this place is like walking from a part of herself. The feeling of being alone is something she has never experienced like this before. She is leaving behind the life she knew as she walks away from this place that was her home. Back inside the mansion, Eric stayed in the living room for a time after Brooke left. It was really quiet after she went away. But the quiet was not nice. It was scary. The room felt weird because there were a lot of feelings that nobody talked about. It was like a big storm had just passed. The dark clouds were still there. Eric got himself a drink not because he was happy, because he needed it. When he picked up the glass, his hand shook a bit. This showed that even though Eric looked calm on the outside, the Eric inside was not calm all. The drink was for the Eric inside to help him deal with all the emotions that were bothering him, the emotions that stayed behind after Brooke left the mansion. Brooke was really. He could see it in her eyes. He knew Brooke's pain was real. He also knew that if he kept giving Brooke hope, it would just make things worse for Brooke in the end. They had been doing the thing for years, going round and round, and it always ended up with Brooke getting hurt again. So this time he decided to tell Brooke the truth, even if it was hard for Brooke to hear, of just making Brooke feel better for a little while. He did not want to be the guy in Brooke's life, but he thought it was the only way to really help Brooke. Meanwhile, Brooke sat by herself in her car looking at the steering wheel as tears fell down her face. She was not crying loudly. It was in sad kind of crying. This is the kind of crying that happens when you are very tired from feeling many emotions. Brooke's mind kept thinking about what Eric said. It hurt her just as much every time. Brooke had put a lot of her feelings into the idea that Eric would always be with her. She thought that no matter how hard things got, she and Eric would always be connected. Brooke thought their connection was very strong and could not be broken. The thing is, that belief of hers felt really fragile now, almost like she was being silly. She could not think about how she had missed all the signs. Had he really been pulling away from her for months? She was so focused on remembering the times that she did not see what was happening right in front of her. The rejection was bad enough. Realizing this was almost just as painful for her, the realization about her relationship, the rejection and the relationship itself. Brooke got home. The house was really quiet. It did not feel like home to Brooke. The house felt empty. Brooke usually felt happy and comfortable at home. Now she felt sad and alone. Brooke put down her purse, took off her shoes. Then she went to the living room. The couch was where Brooke liked to sit and feel better. Now the couch just made Brooke feel lonely. Brooke sat down on the couch, looked at the floor. She was thinking about a lot of things. It was making her feel confused. Brooke was sitting there thinking about her life. It was making her feel sad. Brooke Logan was a woman. She could handle times. Brooke Logan always found a way to get up when life knocked her down. Now Brooke Logan was not sure what to do. This was not a normal breakup for Brooke Logan. It felt like the end of a part of her life. Brooke Logan thought about who she was. She realized that this part of her life was a big deal. It was like closing a book that Brooke Logan had been reading for a time. Brooke Logan did not know what came next for her. Across town, people were talking about what was going on. In Los Angeles, news gets around quickly, especially when it is about the Forresters and the Logans. Rich felt like something was not right when Brooke did not answer his phone call. When he finally found out what happened, he was worried and also really upset. He knew that Brooke really cared about Eric. He also knew that Brooke had been hoping for a time that she and Eric would get back together. Ridge understood that Brooke had been holding on to this hope for a long time, and that is why he was so concerned about her now. The Forresters and the Logans were always in the news. Now it seemed like something big was happening again. It was tough for Ridge to hear that Eric had finally made a decision that hurt him. When Ridge did not always think Brooke made the right choices, he still felt bad about what happened. Ridge was concerned about how Brooke would feel after Eric rejected her. Brooke had already gone through a lot of pain. If she got hurt again, it could be too much for her to handle. Ridge thought that Brooke might just give up if she had to deal with another situation like this. Donna felt really confused. She liked Brooke. She also got why Eric needed some peace and quiet. The Forster family had been dealing with a lot of drama for a time. They always had old issues coming back up and making things complicated. Eric's choice was hard. Seemed like it could make things more stable. Donna kept thinking about Brooke crying and walking away. The Forster family situation was just really tough. Donna cared about Brooke. She understood why Eric did what he did. The truth was really important. It was told to Brooke in a very hurtful way. It felt like someone had thrown a rock at her heart. The truth was something Brooke needed to know. The way it was said was very mean. Brooke's heart was very sad because of the way the truth was delivered to her. Back at Brooke's house, it got really quiet when night came. The city lights shining through the windows made Brooke feel more alone. She got herself a glass of wine not because she wanted to have a time, but because she wanted to stop feeling the pain in her chest. Every time she took a sip, it tasted bad because she was so disappointed. Brooke thought about calling Brooke's friends like Ridge or Katie or even Hope. Brooke could not think of what to say. How do you tell someone that Brooke lost something that Brooke thought would always be there, something like the relationship that Brooke had, the relationship that Brooke thought was permanent, the relationship that meant a lot to Brooke? The feeling of having your future rewritten without your consent is a scary thing. It is like someone is taking control of the life of the future that you have. The future is something that you make plans for. You have big dreams about the future. When someone else rewrites the future without asking you, it feels very bad. You feel like you have no say in the life of your future. The future that you wanted is not the same as the future that someone else has rewritten for you. Her mind went back to the Brooke who thought love was the answer to everything. This Brooke had been through a lot of times people did bad things to her and she got hurt a lot. She always thought that things would get better. Now Brooke is standing in her living room. It is very quiet. She feels old and tired. She is not sure about things like she used to be. The thought of starting over again is too much for Brooke. She does not know if she has the strength to build her life again from nothing one time. Eric also had a time dealing with what happened after he made his decision. He was by himself in his study looking at pictures. These pictures were of his family getting together, fashion shows and happy times that used to make his life happy. Brooke was in a lot of these pictures smiling and looking very alive and sure of herself. Eric did not feel bad about loving Brooke. He did not feel bad about the memories they made together. He did feel bad about the hurt his truth caused Brooke. So Eric knew inside that he made the right decision about Brooke in their situation with Eric. He wanted the rest of his life to be clear and easy to understand, not all mixed up. He wanted to feel calm and peaceful, not upset and all over the place. The morning Brooke woke up and she felt really tired inside. She did not feel any better after sleeping. It actually felt worse. Brooke looked at herself in the mirror. She saw the little lines around her eyes from being stressed. This was the face of Brooke Logan, who had loved someone a lot and then lost them. It hurt a lot. Brooke Logan was not the kind of person who gives up easily. Even though she was very sad, Brooke Logan started to feel a little stronger. She could not control the choices that Eric made. She could control how she went on with her life after that. She had to think about what she was going to do, and that was all about her, not about Eric. The thing was, she could control how she moved forward, and that is what she was going to focus on, her life and what she was going to do with it, and that included moving forward from Eric. She wanted to get out of the house and feel the air on her face. The world was a place and she needed to remember that. So she went for a walk in the city. She saw people who were happy couples laughing together, friends drinking coffee. They were all living their lives. They did not seem to be hurting like she was. It hurt her to see this. It also made her realize that life keeps going even when you are sad. Brooke knew that she would have to find a way to be happy. This new happiness would have to be different from the happiness she felt when she was with Eric. Brooke would have to find happiness that did not depend on Eric. The emotional impact of his words stuck with her. Her phone would buzz and her heart would jump every time she thought she would see his name on the screen. She never did. The silence was really loud. It said more than any apology could say. Eric was not going to come and change his mind. The door Eric closed was closed for good. As time went by, the truth of what was happening started to sink in. Brooke began talking to Katie a lot, and it was nice to have normal conversations with her. Katie would listen to Brooke without saying she was wrong. She would be supportive without telling her what to do. Katie knew how Brooke felt because she had been hurt by people in the Forrester-Logan circle too. Sometimes all Brooke needed was for someone to listen to her. Katie was good at listening. That really helped Brooke. The Forrester-Logan circle had caused a lot of pain for Katie, so she understood what Brooke was going through. The Forrester family kept doing what they normally do every day. You could tell something was different. Eric Forrester seemed sure of himself now. He did not look around anymore wondering where Brooke was. He had made up his mind. That was it. Some people thought Eric Forrester was strong for doing what he did. Other people thought he was too mean. Everyone knew that the Forrester family was not the same as before. Brooke had a tough time getting over things. There were days when she felt like she was doing okay, like she was ready to move on with her life. Then there were days when she thought about Eric, and it felt like everything was crashing down on her again. The love Brooke and Eric had was not something that just went away. It took a time to fade away, and even when it did, Brooke could still feel it sometimes. The memories of Brooke and Eric lingered for a time. One evening, Brooke was sitting by the window. She saw the city lights blinking on and off. She thought about something that was very important to her. What Eric said did not just mean the end of their relationship. It made Brooke think about something she had not thought about for a time. Brooke had been thinking about the past all the time. She was holding on to the way she used to love someone. That way of loving was not right for her life now. It hurt her to think about this. Eric telling her the truth gave Brooke the chance to think about who she was and what she wanted, to make a new future for herself that was not based on what she used to think was important. Brooke was going to build a life that was not tied to what she used to want. Eric also felt the weight of the change. The change brought him a sense of relief. His life felt simpler for the time in a long time. The emotional tension that used to follow Eric had gone away. Now Eric could focus on his family. Eric could think about the legacy of Eric, and Eric could enjoy the moments that brought Eric peace. In the end, nothing big happened. There was no fight or anything. Just Brooke and Eric going their ways. They were changed by the love they had for each other and the truth they finally knew. Brooke's heart was hurt. It would be okay. Eric made a decision. He meant it, but he was not trying to be mean. The story of Brooke and Eric was sad. It was real. Brooke and Eric learned from their love and their truth. And sometimes, in the world of love, honesty can hurt more than any betrayal. As time went by, Brooke started to notice a change in herself. The bad feeling she got whenever she thought about Eric was not as painful as it used to be. It became a feeling that made her think. She still missed Eric naturally. Some songs, places she knew, and even the smell of a kind of cologne would bring back memories of him. These memories did not hurt her like they used to. They were like reminders of a part of her life, a part that had helped make her who she is today, even if it did not end the way she wanted it to. Brooke thought about Eric. How he had been a big part of her life. The memories of Eric were still there. They were no longer painful. She began to hang out with the people who really got her. Katie was always there for her, making her feel better without saying she was wrong. They would talk about things that happened in the past. They would laugh together in a quiet way. They were also honest with each other. They were not afraid to show their true feelings. For the time in a long time, Brooke felt like people saw her for who she really was, not just as Brooke, the person who was with someone else. This made her feel calm and happy. She realized that this was something she really needed. Brooke felt happy when she was with Katie and the other people who understood her. The time she spent with them gave her peace. Brooke really needed that. Brooke found that she really liked being alone and quiet again. She started getting up in the morning and sitting by the window with a cup of coffee. It was nice to watch the city wake up. This reminded Brooke that every day is a day. Even when she was very sad, Brooke knew that good things could still happen. She did not try to fill up the time with noise anymore. Brooke just let the quiet be. She felt stronger when things were still and quiet, when she had her quiet moments. At Forrester Creations, Eric felt really good about his life. He was not stressed about things that bothered him before. Now he could focus on what he wanted to do. He wanted Forrester Creations to be a company. Eric wanted people to remember him for making the company strong and successful. He still thought about Brooke and the time they spent together. Even though Brooke was not with him anymore, he was grateful for the things she taught him. Eric and Brooke had a time together and it meant something to him. In the times they both thought about how far they had come. They did not feel bitter, they just accepted things. They had loved each other, they had grown together. Now they were going their separate ways. The hurt was still there. It was not as bad as it used to be. The pain had changed into something, it had changed into understanding. They had learned to understand each other. That is what mattered. The love they had for each other had not gone away, it had just changed. The truth is that big changes do not always happen because of events. Sometimes they happen because of answers. These answers make people face the truth. Eric's words changed everything for Brooke. They did not hurt her. They made her a stronger and more independent person. Eric's words helped Brooke become a version of herself. The words of Eric changed Brooke in a good way. And in that transformation she found hope again.